Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Real Estate Matters. For over 11 years, the voice of real estate in Flagler County in Palm Coast, Florida. Welcome to the quiet side of Florida. I'm Toby Tobin. I'm the publisher of GoToby.com. I contribute to the Palm Coast Observer, and I'm a Florida licensed realtor with Landmark Group at Compass. Co-host Anne Maria Long is with me in the studio today. Hello, Anne Maria.
Hi, Toby. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. We're recording early this week. We usually record on Thursday or Friday,
But we'll be in a turkey coma.
But it's I'll still be on a couch.
Yeah.
So we're recording this Wednesday morning. So when you hear the numbers, they will be more out of date than they usually are.
And we hope you've had a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, I'm planning on having one. So our lead sponsor is Veranda Bay. Veranda Bay is a private community of luxury homes on the Intercoastal Waterway with a Flagler Beach address, featuring custom homes by Olson Homes, AR Homes by Arthur Ruttenberg, ICI Homes, and Hulbert Homes, and newly added to that list, Toll Brothers and Dreamfinders. If you want to find out more about Veranda Bay, and you should check out their website, it's verandabay.com. We're also sponsored by the Flagler County Home Builders Association. That's where Anna Maria is during the day. And Hammock Community Church. That's on A1A in the Hammocks, the little church, small enough to know you, large enough to serve you. It's north of the toll bridge, a mile and a half north of the toll bridge, with a message sign out front. I'm sure you've all seen it if you've been over on that road. That's where you find me Sunday mornings at the 11 o'clock service. So we're getting to the end of November. We're still going to have some more numbers coming in, but with the Thanksgiving holiday, it's probably not going to be a typical rush at the end of the month. I think the builders, the national builders, are responsible for most of that surge at the end of the month because they're driven by monthly sales and profit numbers, and they've pretty much put the month to bed.
Yeah.
Already.
The month closes on the Sunday also.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
so if Thanksgiving and then
4-day holiday weekend.
kind of awkward Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as of this morning, and again, this is Wednesday morning, 177 homes have been reported sold through the Flagler County MLS system, single-family homes. The median price is $365,000, and that's 177 homes compared to 144 homes last year. And the median price last year was $363,995. Days on market this month or this year, 53 days on market, which is down a little bit from a couple of weeks ago. In the 250,000 and below market, there have been 9 transactions, 4 for cash, days on market 21. In the $1 million plus market, 7 homes have been reported sold. 4 of those were cash, days on market 119. Homes listed. Again, this is MLS numbers, 1,212. That's down, 6 months ago, it hit a high around 1,400. So we're headed in the right direction on homes listed. Pending sales, 326 pending. We've got about 4.3 months worth of inventory, which that's a much healthier number than just a couple of months ago.
Sure is.
We got up in the 6+ for a little while there. The Gindex, which is my measure of the ratio between pending sales and homes listed, in July it was 4.9. It's down to 3.7. So that's 3 or 4 weeks in a row where it's been under 4. And that's for the first time in over a year.
That's really significant.
I did some digging the last couple of days through the manure pile, looking for a pony.
What'd you find?
I found some interesting numbers. My optimism is not based just on this last week's report, I noticed that the number of homes sold over the last 3 months, September, October, and November month
Mm-hmm.
to date, some very strong numbers, untypically strong. September was up 14.9% in the number of homes sold. October was up 20.4%, and this is compared to the same month a year ago. So
Oh.
these are year over year numbers, not month over month,
And
year
these
over
are
year.
typically our slow months
These are typically the slowest months
for real
in the
estate
year.
in general.
Mm-hmm. And in November, we're up 23.6%. The median
Wow.
price in September was up 3.6%, October 2.2%, and November so far, month to date, 0.2%. But here's a startling number, the total sales. And total sales is the 177 homes times their
Mm-hmm.
selling price is, the total volume of sales.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason this is an important number, because in the real estate industry, uh, that's the number that people make their profit off of.
Right.
That's the real estate commission is based on the total sale. It's not based on square feet or age of the property
Yeah.
or what school district it's in. It's just simply the price of the sale. So total sales in September year over year up 6.4%, October up 9.4%, and November, and we're not even done with the month of November, so this number can only go higher.
Mm-hmm.
It's already at 24.3% above November, all of November last year. So
That's wild.
that's that's pretty remarkable. And last December was also an unusually strong December, with 230 homes sold last December. But the number of homes in the pending list today outpaces last year's pending number by 18.5%. So, the number of homes in the pending list gives you a real good indication of how many closings there will be over the next 1 to 2 months.
Right.
So I would guess that I'm not saying that we'll be up 24.3%, but December looks it's primed.
Mm-hmm.
It's primed to be a good month. So the local housing market is showing definite signs of strengthening, and that's a good thing because I'm not really hearing that when I talk to people. People are still social media hasn't
They
caught.
haven't caught on to that yet.
No, nobody on social media.
They
Um,
just see the for sale signs down the street, or um, you hear anecdotal things from neighbors, or read
mm-hmm,
one other post online, and
mm-hmm.
that's their facts that they're going off of.
Yeah, in some markets it's spotty. Some markets are down. The condominium
Mm-hmm.
market is down. I was looking at some condominium numbers year over year, and over the last couple of years, by and large, the local condominium market is off a certain percentage point, and it varies from the Hammock Dunes market
Right.
is different than the Tidelands or Canopy Walk market, but they're and that has to do with the condominium market in Northeast Florida generally has never been strong.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when you think about condominiums, most people they naturally think of South
Yeah.
Florida, and rightfully so because that's where the bulk of the condominium market is. But with the collapse of the tower, the high-rise tower, there
Mm-hmm.
were over 100 people were killed. That brought about some legislative changes
Which
in how
increased the
condominiums
cost.
go, which is definitely increasing the cost and special assessments, even not just
Mm-hmm.
increasing the monthly assessment, but special assessments have been issued. I know one of the condominiums in Hammock Dunes had to, for insurance reasons, had to put on a new roof.
Right.
The roof was not leaking. it was a tile roof.
But just in
But
case.
it
The insurance really
it
wanted
was
it.
X number of years old and
Yeah.
didn't check the right boxes. And when you've got a 6 or 8 or 10 story building, putting a roof on is not cheap.
It is not. And if you're listening only to national data, even statewide data, we're not following those trends.
No.
So we are the anomaly. So I guess really, unless you're listening to our show, you may not be informed.
Well, I don't listen to our show because I listen to it live.
You write the show, Toby. You're the source. You're the source data. Well, I guess the MLS is the source data, technically.
Yeah, it is.
You collect the source data.
But this is, we've talked the last couple of weeks about the infrastructure issues.
Yes.
Particularly in Palm Coast. And Palm Coast is unique in so many ways. It's you really
What a nice
can't,
way to put it.
and unique in lots and lots of really good ways, but a handful of bad ways too. The way it was, we're
the good ways are also the bad ways.
yeah, it's like two sides of a coin.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, but for instance, the fact that all the roads, the streets, city streets were built at one time.
Yeah. Well, it left us with an insane amount of roads to maintain that no city today would take over.
And water and sewer lines.
And no city today would take responsibility of those.
So it's been I said I was digging through a lot of numbers the last couple of days through the manure pile. One of the things that I found was because I did an article recently that on uncovering the root cause of Palm Coast utility issues. And what it really boiled down to, the premise of the article, and you can find this on gotoby.com, by the way. The premise of the article was that we just didn't have enough people.
Yeah.
Which of course would annoy the heck out of the social media crowd.
Them too.
But that's really the only conclusion you can come to.
Yeah, well, I mean, it can be annoying. However, is it annoying to pay less money?
No,
that doesn't annoy me.
No, it doesn't. But the number of people that those hundreds of miles of streets and water and sewer lines were built for, we're still only halfway to that projected number of people. So
correct.
People are having to pay literally for twice as much infrastructure as they might have in a normal situation. Well, it's time for a break, folks. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying with us. This is the second half of Real Estate Matters. Our prime sponsor, Veranda Bay. You can find out more about them at verandabay.com. Beautiful community that's coming out of the ground along the Intercoastal Waterway with the Flagler Beach address. So we were talking about the infrastructure problem in Palm Coast, which has been kind of an on and off topic for at least a couple of weeks. And I mentioned just before the break that the premise of an article I just did on gotoby.com recently was that we've got about 110,000 people in Palm Coast now, 112 roughly, but that Palm Coast was actually laid out from a sewer and water line and streets planning capacity for 225,000 people. So we're only halfway there.
Right.
So,
which means only half the people are paying into the system to maintain it.
Vacant lot owners but they don't pay their fair share. Whatever. I love that phrase, fair share, because nobody ever says what fair share means. But I was looking again through the manure pile looking for pony this week, and I thought, well, I wonder, is it, what's the tax, how's the tax base, um, how does that line up with the population growth?
Yeah.
And if you look at true value, which is the appraiser's approximation of real value,
Mm.
uh, it's the real value's gone up at a rate substantially higher than population, but the taxable value is pretty much in line if you adjust for inflation.
Okay.
So, the population was up maybe 108%, and the taxable value was 118. I didn't even write down the real numbers because they were so close.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't that. It is. It really does come down to the population premise from my article. So how do we solve that? There's no solution. You
No,
just
not
have to
without
raise the fees and raise the taxes.
Yeah,
And
but no politician wants to do that,
no, and
and no resident really wants to pay for it either.
no, but if you raise the taxes,
On the
the
vacant,
the millage rate, by and
yes.
large, most of the existing residents remain untouched by that increase because they're homesteaded.
Mm-hmm. Well, we also have a lack of commercial
Mm-hmm.
taxpayers here.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to get in commercial, a significant, actually any improvement in our commercial tax base doesn't even need to be significant. Literally any improvement, um, then we would have more people paying into the system that are not residents. It would be a commercial entity.
Mm-hmm.
That would help.
Yeah, it would help a whole lot.
And it would also help if every time a commercial business tried to come in or an industrial business tried to come in, everyone didn't say, go away.
Yeah,
We don't want
I've
you.
never seen an actual study that documents the difference, but it's a generally accepted rule of thumb. It has been as long as I've watched real estate that residential real estate does not pay for itself.
Yeah.
That and the number that I've always heard is somewhere around 125% for every dollar that in taxes that a residential property owner pays, they receive $1.25 or $1.28, roughly in that range, in value of services.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas commercial, and of course, that's a broad category.
Sure.
But
Non-residential.
commercial's more like 25%.
Yeah. And, I was thinking when Governor DeSantis and some of the other incoming gubernatorial candidates have said, spoken out against property taxes, and we sit here and we go, well, how are we going to pay for things? And we know the taxes are going to go somewhere else, to sales tax, et cetera. Well, what happens to an area like ours where there's just not that much commercial business? An area like Orlando, who's getting all of the tourists and all of the people coming to Orlando to spend money, they'll be fine.
Well, the other,
but we will not be fine.
I wouldn't be fine because I've got so much protected value, and if they do away with residential property taxes, that the difference that I'm experiencing greatly to my own personal advantage of having so many years of homesteaded accumulated.
All of your cost
value.
of living will go up in another way.
Yeah, it's gonna come from someplace.
Yeah, it's definitely coming from someplace.
So, one of the other things I did in digging through the manure pile was I looked at because I continued to be bothered by the people that the anti-growth people, and the majority of them, some of them moved here before, like you grew up here.
Yeah, they moved here after I did.
But most of them moved here after I did. I moved here in 2000. And the majority of them were not here during the Great Recession, so they didn't experience the bubble prior to the
Correct.
Great Recession. So I looked at population growth, and I've touched on this topic before a little bit, but I went a little deeper the other day. The fact that we actually had more building permits issued back in the early 2000s than we have had recently. And in the early 2000s, our population was less than half what it is
Yes.
now. But I actually put it on a spreadsheet and did a graph. And here's an interesting observation. In 2000, and you have to remember that in 2003 and 2004, Palm Coast was the largest growing city in percentage terms of any
Mm-hmm.
city in the country. And Flagler County was the fastest growing county 2 years in a row
Mm-hmm.
of any county in the country. So we were really up at the peak of
Yes.
the peak. But in 2004, what I did is I looked at how many single family residential building permits were issued per 1,000 residents
In the
and
county.
in the entire county. Yeah. So this includes Palm Coast and and
The entire, yeah.
unincorporated
Mm-hmm.
and
All
Flagler
the
Beach and
municipalities within
Pinellas,
the
right?
county. Mm-hmm.
62.7 permits were issued per 1,000 residents in 2004. And at the depth of the Great Recession, which was from a real estate perspective, 2011,
Mm-hmm.
that number had plummeted to 1.6 permits. So remember,
Huge
that's
difference.
62.7 all the way down to 1.6. In 2025, it's projected to be 12.
So we are actually closer to
The
the
bottom
bottom
number.
than the top.
And we're down from last year. Last year it was
Yes.
17.3.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know we are down from last year. I know.
So, the
So
people that
are you saying
I'm
that
saying that we're
the people
really
that
not.
goes, we are overbuilding, it's out of control? Are you
Yes,
saying that the data proves that that is not correct?
I hate to say it. Well, no, actually,
I
I
think
love
you
to
might
say it.
enjoy it,
I do
actually.
love to say it, but it's true. But it doesn't mean that we're free of problems
No,
just because I'm right.
that's correct.
I'd like to think that it was
No,
so, but
we first established the problems that exist
yeah, we've
within the infrastructure, and then we went into the data.
so we've talked over the last several months several topics that ultimately end up with this conclusion that we're losing the American dream,
Mm-hmm.
and it all really centers around housing affordability or just general cost of living affordability. And next week, David Ayers, who's the VP CEO of the radio stations here, I think they're up to 8 stations now. Mark, how many do you have? Seven stations.
Toby's manifesting an
So,
eighth for you.
yes, but he was really interested in some of the conversations we've had over the last couple of weeks about the vanishing American dream. So he's got some questions. He's going to be here. He'll be our guest next week on the show.
It's gonna put us in the hot seat, huh?
And he's going to ask us some questions. So I'll have to go back to the manure pile and do some more digging this week. But are we turning our middle class into a rental society? Is that can we take that bad news and that lemon and make lemonade out
Yeah.
of it?
Or is the American dream simply evolving? Is it
Mhm.
is it gone, or is it just
It's
changing?
going to have to reinvent itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the American dream for so long that I just have to wonder, is it just simply going to be something different?
I think we're headed that way.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I'd hate to think it's
Be-
disappearing.
be sure to join us next week. You want to wrap this up?
I'd love to. Video podcasts of Real Estate Matters are now available on gotoby.com. Click on podcasts on the top navigation bar. And if you have a question or a suggestion for Real Estate Matters or gotoby.com,
call me 386-931-7124 or email me at toby@gotoby.com. Thanks for being with us. Come back next week. I'm Toby Tobin. I approve this show.